Hi, Mystery Writers. Welcome to Mystery Writer Studio. And today I wanted to talk about writing and editing because we write with passion and get excited about our stories, but you want to edit with empathy. And the reason is editing is for your readers. It's basically about what you have to say versus who is reading. Um, because enthusiasm drives your writing, and you have a story to tell, and your strong feelings motivate you to write and finish the book manuscript, and your passion drives your writing activities. And when it's time to deliver your novel, the focus is on the reader. And how will they relate to your characters? How will they relate to your plot? How will they follow it? How will they relate to the world you create? And do they feel that your story, your characters, do they feel it's all believable? Is the dialogue engaging and believable? Do they resonate with a theme in your story? Is that theme clear without overshadowing the story? So your passion drives the background work, and you do the story. You put your imagination in overdrive, as it were, and you work on character development and scene and chapter notes and world building and story arc, and you build your story elements and create a point of view to tell the story, and spend hours and hours writing scene after scene. Your passion drives you to get all those words out to create your story. And turning your vision into words takes dedication and persistence. Many writers quit before they reach the end. So you fuel those long hours with research and planning and writing your passion. You want the story ideas to burn into your reader's heart, and you want your words to keep them turning pages. And you get your head inside the scene to reveal the five senses, and you create dialogue that reflects character personality traits, and it's loaded with subtext, and you build an exciting climax, and you tie up all the loose ends. You finish your story. But once you finish writing, you have more work to do, because now you switch from passion to empathy to polish your manuscript. And this is the way I like to think about it. You're editing with empathy, because editing is all about connecting with your reader. Once your book is finished, it's time to prime it for your reader. During the writing process, your focus is bringing ideas and words out of your head and into the words. And editing is about polishing the phrases and using the best words and bending the structure to make what you've written the best for your reader. There's lots of advice out there about shifting from the creative to the logical mode when editing, and it's easy to get lost in the technical details of perfecting a manuscript. And you should take care of technical editorial changes. You'll work your way through the three stages of editing, from structural to line to copy editing, and you repair the big story changes first and work your way toward the tiny details. But I think if you keep your reader in mind, you're going to have much more, I don't know how to say this, you'll have an emotional attachment to the editing process, as well as that logical, technical process, because the whole idea of editing is to make it a better connection for your reader. So first you want to work on the big story parts. You want to fix the plot holes or the gaps and make characters actions understandable, and edit for readability and sentence flow. And finally, when you've made all those changes and revisions, you want to make sure you're free of grammar and spelling and punctuation errors. It doesn't make sense to fix commas and semicolons when you may be rewriting scenes or adding chapters. So the editing sequence makes a lot of sense. So filter how you use editing as a connection with your reader. I think it won't feel so tedious and challenging if you think of it that way, as that you're building a stronger connection with your reader, and that's where empathy comes into play. Of course, the words are yours, but you need empathy to connect with your reader. Once the story's finished, you want to shape the words to satisfy your reader. And as you make those changes, use kind of a reader filter, all right? Will the reader understand my character's motivation for this action? Are my main characters three-dimensional rather than stereotypes? Does this scene connect the story in a way that keeps the reader turning pages? Is the dialogue in natural speech and not stilted? And of course you can relax grammar rules in the dialogue. And are you alternating action and reaction scenes? And do the obstacles to my protagonist increase in difficulty? Are you building the challenges as the story progresses? So it doesn't feel episodic, but it feels like it's building in tension and momentum. Does the turning point rely on coincidence rather than protagonist action? Oops, you've got to fix that. Your protagonist has to take the reins when it comes to any kind of turning point in your story. Is your prose easy to read? Do you vary sentence length? These are all things that will help you connect with your reader and help that reader connect with your story. And that's the whole reason we're doing this, right? The reason you ask these questions as you review and edit your manuscript is to make your manuscript the most appealing and engaging to your readers. Going by the rules isn't enough. You want to empathize with your reader's experience. And that's why I think as you become more familiar with how you write and how your readers respond to your stories, you build confidence when you work with an editor after you've gone through all those stages, and then you start working with an editor. You have the confidence to, when an editor suggests a change, to say, no, my character wouldn't act that way, or my character would never say that. So you want to use empathy, that empathy filter, that reader empathy filter, to connect with your reader. Your ultimate goal is to reach as many readers as possible. You write the best manuscript to deliver your story, and then consider your reader as you go through the polish and editorial changes. I have a friend, David Amerland, who is also a writer, and he wrote recently about the power of empathic editing. He says, it feels like a tug of war, but it isn't. A writer reconciles the two by being in service of the words. The words need to work equally for the writer and the reader. Otherwise, all that passion, no matter how intense and fierce it may burn, will be wasted. So I thought those were wise words. And so transform your word written with passion into a memorable experience for your reader. So write with passion, edit with empathy. Okay, I hope that helps. I hope that view of editing, because I know a lot of writers don't like the editing process per se and feel like it's heavy work and it's not part of their creative uh, environment. But I think if you get that sense of editing with your reader in mind and making your story the best it can be to engage your reader, it's going to give you better empathy with your reader. All right, that's it. If you have any questions, please post in the comments and keep writing.